Actually, that old rule still applies. Fall in love with the product and why people need it, and you will never have to worry about how to sell this thing ever in your life. The reason why people don't sell health is because they don't believe in it. I just believe we don't actually believe it's that big a deal. The companies even make it pretty clear with their own marketing and pay and all these things that it's actually not that important. We're basically saying, let's let the other companies take care of that stuff.
In today's episode, I sit down with my man, Drew Griggs, and he was going to share how you can write more short-term disability insurance today. He's going to go over why you're not bringing it up, how you can lead with it, and exactly what to say moving forward. With that being said, let's start the show. Hey, welcome to the Insurance Buzz. We are your hosts, Michael and Courtney Weaver. We have a very special guest with us today. Today we've got Coach Drew Griggs with Weaver Sales Academy. What's going on, Drew?
Michael and I go back a ways, and every time we get on the phone, I'm a big Daddy Weave fan. I think he's like a Christian artist from 20 years ago is popular, and so I'll do what I do with him on the phone whenever I answer the phone when he's calling. Big Daddy Weave! I just had to kick it off the same way we kick off our phone calls, my man. So life is good, blessed as always, and looking forward to hanging out with y'all.
Hell yeah, brother.
I did not know that that was the level that we went to.
That somebody else calls me Big Daddy? I know. It's weird.
Whoa! Whoa! All right, I'm going to need everyone to stick with us.
Oh, all right.
We're going to keep
Let's
it going.
get into it.
Ooh.
Hey, we got.
I
This,
know.
This is a good one. We got some laughs going
That's
on.
making
All right.
that's making the edits for sure.
All right, Drew. I would love for you to just kind of go into a little bit around, like, if somebody's struggling right now with bringing up health insurance to somebody or life insurance, like, what is something that they can do confidently with almost every single customer to help get into those conversations?
Yeah, I like it. I'll answer mostly down the health path just because I'm assuming and sure that life is talked about so much. It's white noise at this point to most, and a lot of guests can comment on it pretty well. I would say I have a unique passion and skill set around the health side, and so I'll talk mostly about that. But just in general, overall, the whole, pivot to a certain product or pivot over to something. Not everybody's wired like that. So I think the first thing is like know how you're wired. You as the team member or the agency owner, you have to know you. Some people are very good in the moment of going, I've got a human on the phone. I'm going to max out this opportunity. I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to ask some good probing questions, and I'm going to find the gold in this call. That's my lane. I don't want to make calls. I want to get calls and close 12 products on one call. That's my dream situation. And so that's how I operate. And I think that's what limits coaches sometimes is I think really, really good team members and a lot of good agents operate like that as well. And they go, why don't you get it? But some people are very task oriented. They want to go fast and they want to get this payment done, get this car change done, get this added car done so they can move on to getting on the phone to call people to talk about these products. I haven't watched changing people be very easy in my life. They always say the old saying, if you are frustrated with trying to change others, look in the mirror for a second. How hard has it been to change you? And I just love that because we do it all the time. And so instead of trying to push against someone's natural lean, natural bent, just ride it. Cool. All right. You're a fast box checker, rock and rolling. Great. You're going to go turbo speed. You're going to put your notes in your CRM, and then you're going to get back to dialing after you're done with this call. You over here, you like going a little slower. You have caller reluctance. You don't like hitting the phones. Fantastic. Low and slow. Chill out. Be in the moment. Pivot to the other products. Maybe schedule an appointment, whatever the need is. So I'd say that'll apply to both products, is know your style, and it's okay to just be very self-aware of that and then capitalize down that path and then not judge based on activity or this or that. Just go off results and let people be free to go their natural lane.
I love that. So what's your opinion on this before we get into the actual conversation? Because I get understanding style, but my fear with somebody that is so task driven and so transactional in conversations that with the technology that's coming out, that eventually that individual will be replaced by AI and technology in the near future. Because if you're not like you have two separate individuals or personalities you're talking about. You're talking about task, just get it done. And then the individual that's relationship building, asking questions, active listening, probing. And obviously what we talk about a lot, as you know, at Weaver Cells is a lot of, hey, you're going to have to develop and grow into that type of individual. So we've never had this conversation. So this is great. Like, are you fearful of somebody that is transactional in style and not going to develop, potentially losing their job one day to AI?
No, it's a great ask. I'll polish up one of the point I was making. One-way street operators and two-way street operators. So what I mean is some people get into sales mode. I'm going to dial, schedule meetings, ask about life, ask about health, whatever the assignment is at that moment. And I'm going to be laser focused on this. You cannot distract me during this moment. I'm all in on prospecting, your meeting schedule, etc. Other person, yes, I'm going to do that when I have time, but a lot of my day is interrupted by calls and walk-ins and all this stuff. Instead of getting frustrated by all these things that are getting in the way, I'm going to use them and pivot over to another item. I don't necessarily mean transactional versus relational. I mean, some people aren't good at that, taking an incoming payment and finding the words to get to, hey, by the way, I don't see this. And so all relational all the time is the only way to do the business at all. Forget even AI and all that stuff. It's just more fun. It's just way more rewarding, more fun to actually connect with human beings on a phone call and get to know them or in a meeting. So I mainly was referring to some people have a mental block and a struggle with taking that incoming business need and shifting it over to, oh, you're paying for your auto. Well, you want to pay for your life too? And they feel weird about it, and so they struggle a lot making that natural. That's more of the thing I was talking about is DNA. A little bit I've seen hard to change. And just let those people get off those calls quickly, make the note in the CRM, and then get back to their laser focused, hammering the phones to have a relational conversation.
Okay, so if I'm an agent and I'm listening to this, step one is to clearly identify who's in my office, right? What kind of people am I working with? Okay, so once I've identified that, Drew, what's step two?
Yeah, I like it. I'll add a nugget under one. So I'm a geek about all things personality tests, not because I believe that they should be used to judge people and determine all answers about how to handle them. I've been told a million times what Enneagram I am. I don't even know. Never read the book, taken the test. And so 4 different people told me I'm 4 different things. So apparently I'm a complicated individual. And so, but I do love using it as a coaching discussion in the office. Like 16personalities.com has got a Myers-Briggs and it's free. So if anybody's on here tired of paying for tests, go do that. If you're okay with paying for them, pay CTS, Can They Sell, pay DISC, and some of the others that are awesome. I'm forgetting them off my hand. Those are fantastic for having the conversation. Hey, Courtney, it looks here like you feel like you're better off meeting with somebody in person, going a little slower. You don't necessarily like the cold calling. Would you say that's fair? Yeah. I just have always struggled with, I don't want to bother anybody. Okay, cool. Well, we've got you in an auto chaser role with 50 cars a month as your goal. Do you feel like that's where you belong with that lean, or do you feel like you belong in inside sales with meeting with customers, reviewing their coverages and pointing out holes? Oh my gosh, I'd love that. And all right, let's work through a plan on how to get there. And so I love the use of personality tests to figure out who's on your team. Are they in the right seats on the bus? John Gordon reference. So that'd be add on to step one. Step two, actually take the action as opposed to this reactionary method of we just do what we have to do every day. We'll work on that next week. We'll work on that next month, because I've never seen next month actually be calmer than this month once in my entire life. So just doing something about it immediately. And then last but not least, I'd say it's okay if your office looks different than another successful office. They always say, go find successful people doing what you're wanting to do and then copy it. I do love stealing from experts. I steal from you guys all the time. Thank you. And it's a beautiful thing. I just don't know if copy paste is what we mean by stealing from pros. And so don't think agent, 2 CSRs per however many millions in business, 2 chasing reps, 1 inside rep. I don't know what the right model is. Maybe it's 6 generalists. I don't know. And so maybe starting with those, what are the skill sets of the people I've got here and what can I work with here to be successful before I'd worry about copying some model elsewhere. And then step 2 and or 3, do something about it. Take some action, make a change instead of waiting for it to calm down in the winter or whatever silly excuses we come up with for New Year's resolutions. It's never going to get slower or easier. So
I think that's so good. It never does slow down. There is never a time where we're like, oh, okay, this is our season. You have to create that space where it's, okay, we're just going to take some action right now and let it be messy. I also love what you said about the copy paste, because every successful person I know has their own blueprint. But if you were to ask them, they're going to say, well, it depends. It really depends on your situation, the time of year, your customer model. Like, there's so many things that go into that.
Yep. Well, and it's funny you bring up action, because we were just having the conversation the other day. Like, if you, and Drew, I know you'll agree with this. Like, if you look at the top of the top versus, so let's say the top 1% of a company or agency force, and then you look at like maybe then the 2 to 5%, and then everybody under the 5%. There is a direct correlation with the top 1% around how fast they take action on something.
Yes.
Without without, hey, I need to think about this. I need to go talk to some people. Like, they're just like, shit, this makes sense for my business. I believe this will work. Let's do it. Now, we all know it doesn't always work out the way you want. Like, you're going to take some L's. You're going to make some poor investments, but that's just part of the learning process. But without a doubt, those that are at the top, making the most money, producing the most, having the most freedom in their business, they are the ones that take action the fastest, without a doubt.
Amen. Yeah, Adam Slack, a friend of mine, owns Two Roads accounting firm and bookkeeping firm in Knoxville, Tennessee. Any East Tennesseers are listening, shout out to him to have him do your books. But he always says, break things fast. And I just love that, like, just break it and lean that way. You'll learn quicker than you would have with any book or research or talking to somebody else or thinking about it. And then it reminds me of a book, Chasing Failure by Ryan Leake. It's all he talks about is just go quick iterations, fast. Learn quickly that it was wrong, move over. Because we will plan and meditate on, and I'm not mocking any prayer and thinking and any of that stuff at all. We come up with some good excuses and call them different words when really we're just procrastinating and doing anything because we're scared. I do it. This is me. I'm not saying people. Drew, I do this, and it's a bad habit that we have, and we don't call it responsibility and going slow, not taking on too much. But a lot of the time, it's just fear that I'm going to look dumb in front of others, and you got to go. So, 100% agree.
Indecision, baby. Indecision is not good. It's not good in anything.
I'm glad that you brought that up too, because I do the same thing. I know you do the same thing.
Absolutely.
And it's always this reminder. I read this in The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and she said, you don't get to get better and look good at the same time.
That's good.
And it was so freeing when I heard this, because a fear is looking dumb in front of somebody, making a wrong decision, that I'm going to waste money, that I'm going to waste time going so far in the wrong direction. And it's like, yeah, but you're going to learn things along the way. But I'm in the same camp of, like, I'm not speaking from my high horse, because I'm down on the ground and I will definitely kick a can down a road that doesn't need to be kicked anymore. So,
Agree.
So let's talk about, that kind of leads us in. Do we want to dive more into health and life insurance, or we want to go into coaching?
Let's dive into real fast. I would love to know, Drew, like, if somebody's struggling right now with how do I even start a conversation around health insurance, whether it's a Medicare sup policy or maybe a supplemental type of health policy that a lot of companies offer. Like, what's one easy thing they can do right now today that they can incorporate in their conversation to start those conversations?
Yeah, I'm not going to answer your question correctly. I'm sorry. Every area of life, we talk about know your why, and if you've got this solid why and you've got this deeper heart and understanding of it, the rest takes care of itself. And then when we get to certain types of products, we say what's the play, man? I need the script. I need the play today. I'm like, no, it actually still, that old rule still applies. Fall in love with the product and why people need it, and you will never have to worry about how to sell this thing ever in your life. The reason why people don't sell health is because they don't believe in it. And that is mean and all these things. But I just believe we don't actually believe it's that big a deal. I'm even going to poke at the companies. the companies even make it pretty clear with their own marketing and pay and all these things that it's actually not that important. We're basically saying, let's let the other companies take care of that stuff. And so I'd say that's the beginning, is learn about your products and fall in love with them. And I don't mean learn about page 37 of the contract. I mean learn about applications and case studies of what they do for families. So I always say there's 4 whys when it comes to health insurance. The why for the company, you're diversifying risk a little bit. You're not putting it all on homes in Florida and cars in California. You need diversified risk. You need revenue to come in from another source. Why for the agency, there's typically bonuses and structures and commissions that are nice and pay well to the agency, diversifies your income. It also keeps the customers lower attrition rate, and so you've got more people staying for longer. And then why for the team member, typically they are paid commissions to do it, so also nice. But the number one for me is the why for the customer. Dude, you're talking their income, and I'm mainly talking down a disability path. I know there's other health products. Disability is the one I'm passionate about. Their income's all they got. We're pivoting to life on a 22-year-old single kid making 60 grand renting. And we're mad he doesn't see the value. I think it may be a curse word on the insurance buzz to say not everybody needs life insurance, but I'm not actually so sure everyone needs life insurance. I really don't know if that's actually true. I need. Now, want, because maybe later, like an insurability, I know there's a million stories of why. But that guy making 60 and he works at let's just say at a small insurance agency, I would bet 80% of your listeners right now don't provide, and or if they're the owner, they don't provide a disability insurance. If they're the team member, they don't have it. I'm just betting. So you've got this 22-year-old who's got this gaping hole, which is if he has a monstrous back injury, can't go to work anymore to produce and earn commissions in this insurance job, he's in trouble. That's way worse than, not in a mean way, if he were to pass away, his family, who's totally fine and well off, would have to handle a funeral and some other little things. I get that. And so the why on the customer side is what I'm obsessed with. I myself have not been disabled, but I have been through excruciating problems with back, including 12 operations and 2 of which were some nasty surgeries. And I worked on my back with a overlap computer for 3 months while recovered, hooked up to an IV full of vancomycin. So I've been in a place where if I didn't have the job I was blessed to have, I would have been disabled. It just so happened to be during the middle of COVID year when everybody was working from home anyways. And therefore I was able to just keep working from home just in a weird desk setup. But if I'd had a regular job without the flexibility and without that weird timing of 2020, I'd have been filing. And I was a healthy 30-year-old. Nobody looking at me when I walked into an office would have said, yeah, this guy needs that. They would have said, oh, let's write the auto and home and pivot to PLUPS and maybe life if we're feeling good today. Nobody would have asked me. And so that's step one for me, is go fall in love with why this means so much. I mean, how many term policies are going to pay out? 1%. How many people get disabled? A third of the population before you stop working are going to be disabled for some period of time. And so that's what breaks my heart, is the people, cancer diagnoses and wrecks and all these things, and they have a paycheck that stops. I want to cover that. I care a ton about that. That's why health insurance means a lot to me. And so I'd say that's pre-rec before you ever worry about what words to say and when to say them.
That's so powerful. And statistically speaking, that's exactly what we saw in our business. It had about a 34% payout. So 34% of our disability policies, we wrote a ton of short-term disability, paid out.
Yep. Versus you remember the death claims because there's just so few.
Yeah.
And again, do not, like life insurance, lower quantity, percentage amount, but monstrous desolation to families. So don't hear me knocking on life. I've got my many 7 figures of life insurance myself. I'm very passionate about the product. Love it, love it, love it. I just think health is his redheaded stepchild. We just go straight to, what's the word, magic, bro? I got to get this promotion, whenever really it's about something a whole lot deeper, a whole lot more than that. You asked how, so I will hit on one more rule of mine. Back in the good old days, I was with Northwestern Mutual, and we went to Milwaukee every year for our annual convention, and Warren Buffett came and spoke one year. And he was up there talking about the markets and the S&P 500 index, which, for the record, know active fund managers wanted to hear about. And he said, but I want to talk about insurance for a while. That was, after all, most of Northwestern's revenue. He said, we're going to skip over the whole permanent life thing. I know that's y'all's baby. We're going to talk about disability. He said, here's my rule. I tell people, if you ever meet with a financial planner that also sells insurance, and they do not bring up disability insurance in the conversation, you fire the planner, move on to the next one the next day. And I just love his conviction around this. I was 20 at the time that I went to this meeting. I remember at a young age going, all right, if the man, the oracle himself, believes this much in protecting your income, I'm going to believe this much in protecting your income. Because if the income's gone, who cares about how you're allocated? Who cares if you have term or perm, liabilities, umbrellas, and this and that? If your income's gone, all of it means nothing. You're trying to figure out, do we sell this house? Do we move to this place? Do we rent? Do we do this? Does the stay-at-home spouse now have to go back and get to work? Our whole life changes if the income goes away. So anyways, loved that. Remember that. It stuck with me forever. I'm happy to geek out about 2 or 3 plays if that's worth the time chatting on this on the podcast. If that would be valuable to the listener, I'm happy to do that. If that's too in the weeds, I'm happy to. Okay, y'all are head nodding.
It's valuable. And to reiterate your point real fast, and I haven't looked at this in a few months, but the last time I checked individuals living paycheck to paycheck, it was around 76 to 77% of our country. So 3 out of every 4 households or even individuals live paycheck to paycheck. And right now, I know for a certainty, because I look at charts, I look at stats quite a bit, right now, savings levels are also at an all-time low. So the average person has less than $400 available to them if anything happened. So that's just to reiterate your point of what you're doing. And I love this around the why, because health insurance disability does get put to the side. But at the end of the day, if something does happen to someone, they don't pass away, they're going to be financially devastated without a product like this in their financial plan.
Yep, 100%. Let's address the elephant in the room real fast. Everyone is sitting there rolling their eyes, listening to this, thinking one thing. They all have it through work. Okay, so that is the number one objection of all time. I just find it funny that we all believe that they have life at work, yet that doesn't stop us. So the using that as the rule of why I don't bring it up, and then yet life insurance we bring up every day, and we handle the work objection. Oh, how much do you have? And oh, are you going to be able to keep it with you when you leave that company? We have all these rules on how to handle life is already at work, yet we have no rules for how to handle disability at work. We don't even ask. We just assume they have it at work. So I get a little heated, but I'll just say anybody who's thinking that right now, just park that for just a second. Because it doesn't matter. I don't care if they do. Great if they do, actually. I want them to have it at work. It's typically the most cost-effective way to buy it. Fantastic. Just like with life, cool. Let's keep talking about it, though. We're not done. So, quick run plays. I'll mostly talk about the short term, but all this applies to long term as well. The short term is just the easier one to quote, honestly, and underwrite and all that. It's just a little bit less intimidating of a product. But it applies to long term as well. I always say there's a few different ways to write this stuff. One is pivoting off auto, one is pivoting off renters and homeowners, and the other one is called the right way. And so I'll do those in that order. Autos are fun. I believe that the number one health salesperson in office should be whoever answers the phone as the quote unquote CSR. If there's a person in the office that answers the phone and does added and change cars, I think they should be the health king or queen of that office. Here's why. All right, Michael, got your 2016 Nissan Altima all quoted up here. Got 2 options for you here, boss. Option 1 is going to be, we're going to add that 2016 Altima, like I just said, full coverage, everything we discussed earlier. And that's going to be $150 a month. Or I can add some income protection for you. If you ever get sick, hurt, or injured, can't go to work, I'm going to make sure you got a paycheck. Instead of the $150, that one's actually going to be $170. Which one of those sounds best for you? $150 for the car or $170 for the car and some income replacement? It's clean, it's simple. Now, again, 13% of the audience just went, well, technically, we got to ask questions. Look, okay, I get that I just quick balled that it's going to be $20. I don't know. I don't know that it's 20. But I also didn't say $846 per month in protection for a 3-year or 5-year benefit. I didn't get into that. I'm just trying to see where Michael's head's at. And the number one thing we do when we pivot to health, we'll say something like, would you be interested in a health insurance quote or a disability quote? No, I'm actually not interested in that. That sounds awful. But you telling me for 20 bucks I can get some of this stuff? Now my interest is piqued. You just quoted it. You skipped over the asking for a quote. You went ahead and did it. Now
You assumed
20
it, baby.
Yeah, you assume
it.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys aren't going to assume the sale, let's at least assume the quote and just do it. Hey, it's about 20 bucks. And okay, what you're looking for is this. Wait, what's included on that? How much coverage? Questions, you got it. You did great. If you get a flat no, fantastic. I got you for 150. It's at least worth us asking for. If you want to objection handle one more, if you're okay with that, you got that bone in your body. Just for clarity, Michael, you don't want to spend $20 to make sure a portion of your income is sent to you every month after 30 days if you're hurt in a car wreck and can't go to work. Just for clarity, I got to put this in my notes. I just want to make sure what you're saying is real there. So you can have some fun with it, play with it. But my point is, all your job is to do is to ask, and then all you're looking for is intrigue, questions, clarity. Everybody's like, well, they're not going to say yes to that without it. Yeah, I know. I'm not looking for a yes because I actually want to talk about disability insurance for a second. I want to slow down, ask about their incomes. Do you have any at work? All that. We're not looking for a yes immediately. We're looking for fast no's and questions. Two different divides. So I want a quick quote so I can divide them real fast, find out who I'm talking to, and move on.
Let's take a minute and just talk about life insurance. Are you struggling with how to navigate the conversation, the types of questions to ask to engage your customer, your prospect, to where they actually want to talk to you about life insurance? They're actually telling you their problems so you can take your sales pants off, put your conversation pants on, and just solve problems, which is what you want to do as a sales professional. If you struggle with that, if you wish you had more confidence in the conversation, you want to add to your arsenal, you want to increase your skill set, I'm going to be holding a life insurance webinar soon. Make sure that you click the link below in the show notes and register. It is free and it is going to be extremely valuable as always. So again, if you are interested in improving your life insurance game, getting more comfortable with what you do every single day, understanding that, hey, if I just change this one little thing, I can achieve more success. Make sure you click the link below, show up. I look forward to seeing you there.
Yep, that's it. So that's one. And earlier you said that they can start today. Everyone can answer their next phone call and do that. Everyone. Car change, car ad, pay the bill. Hey, I got your total SFPP, or I'll say PP and Farmers PP. Everybody's got their abbreviations. Your payment plan is $200. I got you two options here, Courtney. $200 to pay your bill that you owe us every month, or $220, get you a little income replacement. If you're ever sick, hurt, or injured, can't go to work, I'm going to make sure you got some income coming in. Which one of those you want to do? Just pay your regular bill $200, or add on some protection for $220? What are your thoughts? Again, any play that they can run that. I separate renters and homeowners a little bit, but that's play two. Honestly, it's a little bit cleaner and simpler than even the first. Both the same concept though. Two options. You're quoting the renters, you're talking to somebody, they call in from the apartment referral, whatever the situation is. Hey, Michael, I got y'all squared away. Obviously, I know for everybody who's sitting here also judging this comment, we're obviously going to talk auto and do all that stuff. But you know how it is. They're sitting in the office. They got to go quick. I need a renter's quote, man. I don't have time to talk to you about my Tesla and how much that would cost to insure. I just want to talk about the renters. The lady's staring at me, bro. Hurry up. Okay, so let's stay in the lane of renters. We'll get the auto later. We'll take care of that later. So, Michael, I got you taken care of here. It's going to be $15 for all the renters coverage we just discussed. But I do have two options that most of our clients like to hear about. Option one, renters, what we just went over. That's the 15. Option two is going to be about $30. But what it's going to do is every single month, if you were ever sick, hurt, or injured, couldn't pay the bills, we will pay your rent for you. Okay, and so we will take care of your rent payment so you stay in that apartment, stay happy if you ever couldn't go to work. So you want to do the 15 for just the renters, or do you want to do the 30 and have rent protection as well? All you're looking for is just the 15, no thanks. Or I'm still in this office. I do have to get going, but I do want to understand how that works. If we could deal with that another time, great. When are you going to be out of that office? Okay, cool. I'll call you back in 45 minutes. We'll go over adding that plan for you. And so same thing, two options, two plays. And then on the homeowners, a little bit slower, a little more massage because typically going to be a bigger bill. You can't go 15 or 20. You're maybe talking about a little something more, especially with interest rates the way they are today. Same idea. Do you want to do just the homeowners, or do you want to add mortgage payment protection? If you're ever sick, hurt, or injured, can't go to work for a long period of time, we want to make sure you stay in your house. Let us pay your mortgage for you. Even have some fun with it. Do you want Allstate to pay your mortgage payment for you, or do you want to? Do you want Farmers to pay that mortgage payment for you if you're ever sick, hurt, or injured, can't go to work? Just looking for mumbles and questions. That's all I'm looking for.
What are you talking about? What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah. What do you mean? So real quick story. Oh, let me finish the third one, and then I'll come back. Really, really fast story on the autoplay and what it turned into. It's really, really cool. But to go to the third one, which is actually sell the stuff, I mean by that is like in meetings, in reviews, just make sure you have it a part of it. I learned this rule from a State Farm agent named Sarah LeBrotten, legend at State Farm, crushes it. She said one thing changed their health production in their office. In their reviews, we typically go auto, fire, and that's what they have currently, auto and home, auto, home, plus, whatever. Then we move over to life, right? That's always like the next thing. Oh, hey, I don't see life insurance protection. We should talk about that, or whatever your pivot is. All they did was moved health in front of life in their order that they went through. And it changed everything. Here's why. Nobody's going to not get to life. Nobody's not getting to life. Everyone. Because as soon as they're out of it, the agent's like, hey, man, how'd that meeting go? Oh, it was a good meeting. Well, did you get a life policy? That's like always what they're pressured to do. So they're not going to skip the life. So they just, all she did was flip health in front of life. Loved it. Game changer for my office. And just that easy structural change. So in a meeting, you're doing your reviews, and then just simply asking, hey, when's the last time somebody reviewed your disability insurance with you? Oh, yeah, I got that through work. Fantastic. Well, I'm super glad you do. What I want to talk to you about is, supplementing that, because that's typically going to be somewhere between half and 2/3 of your income if you have a good plan. And we want to make sure that you don't get a 50% pay cut. Yeah, if something happened, we can help close that gap. And here in a little bit, I'll go over those numbers with you. You'd be surprised how inexpensive it is to fill the hole that your work plan doesn't cover. Again, I'm assuming the quote. I'm going to park that. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. I'm just sprinkling it. Stacy, won't say her last name. I'm sure it's a HIPAA violation. I did the sprinkle, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. She goes, no, go back. We know we need this. Can we talk about it right now? I was like, I got an agenda. Like, we're going to talk about life. I just want to make sure I get to everything. She goes, I'm sorry. I don't care about your agenda. I want to make sure we talk about that. Can we talk about it? I was like, yes, ma'am. I'm very, very sorry. I tried to stick to my OCD, like checklist agenda, and aborted that plan. Went over there, took care of the needs she was stressing about. Then we scheduled another meeting and took care of the other stuff. But moving that health above helps people not skip over and get all upset, really, really excited when someone says yes to life. Because again, nobody skips the life. You're going to get there. It's okay. My favorite in-person sale of disability insurance is this. I wish I had like a whiteboard to draw this on here for you, but offer Courtney 2 jobs. Job A is $3,000 a month in pay. And then if you are sick, hurt, or injured and can't go to work, you get $0 per month. Job B is going to be $2,950 per month. But if you're sick, hurt, or injured and can't go to work, we'll give you $2,000 a month. Do you want job A or job B? You just sold a $50 a month disability policy every time. And we can typically take care of a decent chunk of people's income, depending on age and profession, for about 50. And so it's a good, quick thing. If you're sitting in front of someone, when's the last time somebody reviewed your disability insurance with you? Great, I just want to show you a quick visual. Slide it over. Which of those would you choose? Okay, great. We're going to at least talk about it today if you see the value in this simple math. So that's the fun ways. I'll pause to get your feedback. I can see Michael Jones and he's a little bit squirmy in the seat. But I do want to tell you the Andy story here in a little bit.
Oh my gosh. That is so good with the 2 job offers.
It's fun. Yeah, you got to be in person. That's the reason that one isn't the funnest to train, because so much of our business is over the phone. But yeah, in person, that one will land every time. I don't know the close rate on it. It's got to be 2/3, 3/4. It's got to be way up there, just because it's a no-brainer one that's seen like that.
What I love that you're talking about here is you're talking about consistent processes, because that's really what you're talking about. Like, if you never introduce a product to a customer, you never bring it up, of course you're not going to sell anything. It's the same reason you don't get referrals, because you don't ask for referrals, or you get inconsistent referrals because you inconsistently
ask.
So,
Yeah.
That's right. So what you're saying is like just have process or processes. It's like our financial foundation approach that we teach in Weaver Sales Academy that positions you as a financial advisor in the conversation, and we go straight from liability into health. Now,
Yep.
even though most of you don't offer traditional health insurance, the customer knows a little bit about their health insurance. And so we go directly there. And then that breaks you right into like the long-term, short-term disability income protection. But you're having a conversation. And if you have conversations with 100% of customers every time around everything that you can high level offer, from liability to health to maybe if you do banking to life insurance to investments, you're going to help people out with those products. But you have to have consistent processes. I love that's what you're saying, man, because sometimes I
But
think that the
Michael, I don't want
simplest
to
things get
information
overlooked.
vomit on them. I don't want to tell them about everything we do, Michael. It's just too much. I don't want to, and so that's pushed back. I hear that all the time, and I'd say, yeah, if you list out the products your company does on a sheet of
Yeah.
paper, and you go line by line, and you tell them about all of them, that is information vomiting. That's useless. It's not helpful. If you ask targeted questions in a consulting, a consultative way, you're going to cover in about 5 questions. You'll cover 90% of what you do,
Amen.
and you're good. And you're going to know if you give me a previous insurance report in 3 questions, I'll know the whole household and what we needed to cover and what we need to quote. That's a whole entire needs analysis, in my opinion. If you're slowing down, thinking, asking the right 2 or 3 questions, mixed with knowing what they've got, you've got it. And so don't worry about product shoving. Worry about asking questions and then explaining why you're asking the questions. And it'll take care of all the products you've got underneath that.
Amen, brother. All right. What's this Andy story?
Yeah, I need to know
All
the
right.
Andy story.
This guy calls. He's adding a car for his daughter. She just turned 16. Get to the end, and I'm honestly feeling it, guys. Like, I just had the Pivot Always chat with my team. I just had it. And this car is expensive. 16-year-old kid, you get it. You understand. Brand new car, too. Oh, it's brand new. It's safer. We thought it'd be cheaper. Oh, my gosh. What the nonsense. Anyways, and I remember having this moment of I had a pretty opened office, and I thought, dude, if they hear me not do this, I'm going to be in trouble. Like, they have to hear me run this play. I just got onto him about it this morning at the team meeting. So, Andy, I got 2 options for you. $280 for that Kia for your daughter. Or, and I'm like stumbling over because it's $300 for a car. And you have to remember, this is 10 years ago, so times have changed. But $280 for that Kia, or $300, and we can get you some income replacement. If you're ever sick, hurt, or injured, can't go to work, we'll make sure to take care of a little bit of your paycheck for you. Do you want to do the $280 for the Kia, or do you want to do the $300 for the Kia and some income replacement? He says, well, for $20, I mean, how much are we talking? How much income replacement are we really going to do at $20? I said, it's a great question. Let me wrap up this Kia here, and I'll take care of it, and then I'll get over to our income replacement calculator. We'll work through this. We go through the quote. I'm sitting there on the income page. I said, okay, income, total income. He said, 25,000. I was like, well, this doesn't work mathematically. He's like, well, per month. And I was like, oh, okay, I got you. We got a stud here. Okay, we got a baller. All right, so I need to change gears a little bit and move over to my talking to fellow rich guy voice. And I think, pretty early in my agency, so I didn't really know how to connect with him, but I rolled with it. And I said, okay, it sounds like a starter $20 a month plan is not what you're needing. Let me just slow down a little bit, ask you, what does your disability portfolio look like? And he said, I don't have any. And he goes, I honestly think about it often. I'm 48. I've got 3 kids. Got a wife who stays at home. 2 of them are high school. One of them's in college. And I'm an attorney. And I'm making $300,000 on my bad years, $400 on my good years. And I do know that, like, it's not going to take much. It could be anything that knocks me out of this. I said, man, it sounds like we need to pause on this. Call time out. We don't need to, this doesn't sound like a chit chat on the phone. Let's come in, let's sit down, let's review everything you've got going on. Let's make sure we customize a plan to fit your needs. Comes in the next week, he leaves with a long term for the maxed out benefit amount for the company would allow, and a supplemental on top of that short term, the maximum the company would allow. Total benefit of $13,000 per month between the two, and after the 3 years, it would go down to $10,000 per month. Total premium of $954 per month. I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. That's that's like 6 months of health insurance goals for most offices in one case, and one $20 per month Kia pivot. And so that's all you're looking for is how much are we talking here? How much coverage can you possibly get for 20? That's all you're looking for. And then to have the emotional intelligence, the saleswomanship, the salesmanship enough to okay, time out. This is a qualified prospect. Time to come to Audible and run a different play than the $20. Let's pivot over. He wasn't offended. How dare you offer me a 20? He just said, how much can I possibly get for that, ma'am? And I said, it's a great question. And we had fun, and we wrote that. Spoiler alert, 5 years later, we wrote his long-term care portfolio for him and his family because he was concerned about that after paying for his mother's care, mother-in-law's care. And why did he know we did health? Because I pivoted 5 years prior to a health policy. He knew who to call. If I wouldn't have done that pivot, he would have never known to call me about long-term care quotes. So anyways, rant over. There's a bunch of stories. That's my all-time favorite. $20 per month, quick health pivot call, turned into this whole thing. Relationship for years, great guy. To this day, I'm not an owner of that agency anymore. To this day, a client there because he saw the value and the love and an advisor type role instead of saved him $10 per month, switched him over, the transactional thing we just talked about earlier. So,
Mike, that's a mic drop situation.
Yeah, that is a perfect place to stop too, because I'm like, wow,
Dang.
that
so
just like
freaking
brings
good.
it full circle. Ask the question.
And here's the thing that I love that you did, because early on in your career, it would have been super easy to just be like, well, yeah, let's knock the $20 policy out. You ask questions. So you went from like that quick hit, just let's get the policy on the board, to more of a holy shit, like there's a true need here that I need to help solve.
We're just investigators. We're like cops. Like we're trying to solve a case. And when they call in, all you know is they're adding a Kia. Okay, Kia, daughter. Okay, kid needs protection for that. Ooh, life. Okay. And you're thinking life. And then you're just going and just like, you're just thinking the whole time, getting the clues together. It's fun. If you have fun with it and treat it like this, protection case to solve, it makes the game so much more fun. It makes the entire job meaningful when you treat it like that versus this, here's another interruption of my day, calling to do whatever. Like if we treat it like it's in the way of our job, it will be in the way of it. If you treat it like this is another blessing I get to talk to another human and help another person out, and they don't even know what's coming. They don't even know they're going to get this advice on this call. Man, how blessed are these people to talk to me today. It changes everything. It's, oh my God, it's so much more fulfilling.
What you just said actually just reminded me. So sometimes we'll do at Weaver Sales Academy, like we'll bring like 3 different scenarios to the table for the training call. And we'll be like, okay, scenario 1, and you read it out. And they're like, what are all the products? Boom. Okay, we could help this customer with this product and this product. Okay, scenario 2, but the conclusion is you don't figure out that type of conversation and that product need unless you're having real meaningful conversations with customers that matter. If you're just trying to push across an auto policy, there's no way you're finding the PLUP, the disability, the life. Oh shoot, probably that long-term care need too, or the boats or the farms. Like you just don't get there by just like pushing just one single line product and not asking additional questions like you're talking about. Like having fun with what you do, getting extremely curious about the person you're talking about.
Yep. Amen. And if we're good to go on this rant for a couple of seconds, I'll just add a little bit of what we're talking about. I'll blame it on the coaches. The owners and the coaches are messing this up a little bit. And here's what I mean by that. Because what you're talking about, Michael, slowing down and connecting, that takes time, bro. Takes time. I could be prospecting. I could be hitting the phones. It's just going to take so much time to do this. Well, if you're a leader and you're listening to this and you're pushing quotes, number of quotes per day as your number one metric, you could be accidentally coaching transactional speed volume as opposed to transformational, real insurance advising. And so make sure the old we measure what matters. If you measure quotes, by God, I'll get you 6 quotes a day, boss. I'll do it. I mean, I may not close any of them, by God, and I may not multi-line any of them, but I will get you 6 quotes because your team wants to make you happy. Yes, they want to get paid and all that stuff, but what they really want is a pretty good paycheck at a fun place to work where they make their boss happy. And if you tell them what to run for, they'll run for that. if you shift that target over to households closed or multi-line conversations had or transformational conversation or whatever, prices presented or quality talks, whatever you want to measure it and call it, that's what they'll start running after. And so make sure what you're measuring on a whiteboard and keeping up with and all that stuff and everything you're pushing, make sure that it aligns with the values that you're saying matter in your team meetings when you're talking about your why. And so that right there, I'll give a little on the team members, but a lot of it I'll put it on the owners and the coaches, pushing the thing that matters second most, as opposed to talking about the real thing.
This sounds like a great topic to have you back on, Drew. Like, I could go on a rant about this myself, but I think we're just going to have to just do another episode around this exact topic. All right? Because
I think you're going to have to trim like 3/4 of this call so far based on our time goal. So apologies for the long-winded stories and rants.
But what you're hitting on is what, like, literally measure what matters. And it's of my belief that in sales, it doesn't matter what you're selling, but the one thing that has been taught is a huge lie of just do more calls, just do more quotes, just work more hours.
Dude, it's literally nonsensical. I'm sorry, we have to have another call on this. Like the thought in December that I'm going to double my production next year by doing twice as much work. Oh, how many hours a day did you work last year? I mean, 8 to 10. I killed it, man. I worked so hard. So you're going to work 20-hour days? Like, I just don't understand logically how are you going to do this through more? Oh man, I'm just going to get after it, 110% grind, baby, 24/7, 3. I'm like, no, you're not. Like, it's just nonsensical. What are you talking about? Like, you have to do something different if you want to double your results, 3x, 4x your results. It's not do more, it's do better. It maybe even do less. Yep. And so I just, that constant pushback of, all this takes time. It takes so much time. I'm like, yeah, you're right. It does take more time for me to slowly allow my 6-year-old son to get himself ready in the morning and take on his day and have ownership and make his own bed. It does take more time. I could just do it for him. But over the scope of everything, the real benefit is that he's an independent, functioning child who can do his own thing. And so net over decades, my way was way faster because it's going to be awkward at 18 when he's going to college and I haven't done that yet. So I think sometimes we're so worried about the minutes today that we're not worried about these hours and days over the month that add up. And all we really care about, if we're honest with ourselves, is just being pure business people, not the helping people love side of this business, but pure business people. We care about revenue. So if it comes from 10 households a month or 100 or 10 policies or 1,000, like, you just care about the revenue. So why wouldn't you do it the much more fun, rewarding, meaningful way that, by the way, cherry on top, will deserve referrals to where you never have to ask for them. You'll change people's lives. They'll be bringing their friends and family in without you ever saying the R word, all because you did it the right way.
Amen, brother. Amen. All right.
So good.
This has been so freaking good. And if you are somebody right now that's like, I need some more of this in my life, guess what? You have the ability, because Drew is a coach with us at Weaver Sales Academy.
Yes, sir.
He works with agents just like you on helping. I don't want to give too much away, but just what he was talking about right now, increase your revenue by working less. All right. That's really what he's focused on, working with agents. So if you'd be interested in working with Drew, let us know. Other than that, I personally would love to know what you got taken away from this episode. He gave you some amazing play-by-plays. So I'd love if you text us, 816-727-7610. Other than that, Drew, we appreciate you. This has been awesome.
I always love chatting with Drew. It's always such a good conversation. Thank you. Best part of my
thank
day.
you. I appreciate you, Courtney, and all y'all are doing. I tell people this all the time. I'll say it here in front of people. This morning in a team huddle, I made everybody brag on somebody to their left. Not allowed to be sarcastic. Had to be 100% serious. I'll do it here. There are 1,000,001 people out there doing some coaching, and I greatly love and appreciate all they're doing. I really do, because it's helping owners and leaders be better owners and leaders. The time I spent with all of them has been valuable. Michael and Courtney have a special place in my heart because their conviction and belief in what they're doing is at 100%, and they truly would sacrifice revenue any day if it meant that much more appreciation and love and investment into that their customers and their clients were felt. And it's just really cool. Sometimes you don't know what's going on until you get to peek behind the curtain. And Michael and Courtney let me peek behind the curtain, and I truly know the things that they are saying, they believe, and are passionate about. And it's just fun working with people who love what they're doing and wake up every morning trying to do this thing right. And so, just honored to be a part of it. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for letting me work with the team. Being a part of this ride with you always a blessing. So, thank you.
Filling's a mutual brother. So
Gonna make me cry.
yeah, we appreciate you. You're amazing, and for all of those of you listening right now, as you know, time and attention are by far the most important assets that you have. So we appreciate you spending time with us today. Go out and make it great.